I wanted to start selling on multiple platforms, but the way the economy and pandemic is looking, I don't know if I should wait or not. Definitely you don't want to wait. You can start today. You don't even need to invest any money. You could start today simply with the stuff you have in your closet. Last week, I had somebody ask me a very similar question. They basically said, if I was to start over brand new, what would I do? And I would just start with stuff from my closet. You know what I mean? If you want to even start on a lower end and try to get like more affordable stuff, you might want to start in the thrift store, start at garage sales. I feel like those are places where you can, kind of negotiate and get some really good deals and some steals. But you could just start with stuff you have in your closet. If you have anything, whether it's clothing, whether it's old shoes, whether it's older electronics, any and everything sells on eBay. So if you got a little something, you kind of just use the snowball effect and just literally make $10, reinvest that same $10 into the business and just keep going from there. And it works wonders. Trust me. It's one of those things for me where when I first quit my job, I was trying to figure out what I could do and what I should do to really get some money and kind of build up some traction. And I literally had a bunch of shoes because I was always collecting, but I also had a ton of sneakers as well. No, I said a ton of shoes because I was a collector, but I had a ton of suits because that was my style. So I had a ton of suits, and I literally just started selling some of those items, and it literally was a snowball effect. From that, I never necessarily invested a ton of money into my business. I just started with what I had and kept going. Since you have been reselling, have you personally experienced this summer slowdown? Last summer and the summer before then, I definitely experienced that summer slowdown. In terms of sales, it was very, very slow. I feel like even last year, sales for me slowed down around May is when I started to feel that summer slowdown. Because at that point, the whole summer slowdown starts because people are on vacation, people are traveling, people are, they're not really at home sitting on the computer or even on their phone shopping. This summer so far, what would it be in June? Last month was still a really, really solid month. So far, since we're in June, we're just about the middle of June. Business is still doing really well. I try to share some of my daily sales with you guys so you guys can see exactly like what the day-to-day sales are looking like. And the sales are still really, really strong. So I think with the economy being in the situation it's in and people having to be at home, I always tell people you got to remember there's a lot of people right now making more money on unemployment than they were making at their own job. And perfect example, when those stimulus checks started getting distributed in April, I think it was like mid-April, April 15th, around that time, I seen a huge spike in sales. Drop a comment if that has also happened to you, but I've seen a huge spike in sales because as soon as most people get money, they spend it. And I think that's probably the best. That's probably why sales right now are still doing so good, because a lot of people are at home, they're making more money and they're shopping. So the summer slowdown is real, but this summer in particular, I think it's different. I think it's just some different factors that's at play right now. And people are shopping like crazy. They're buying shoes. I don't sell a lot of used clothing as I used to. And I think that segment, like that category, might be really slow. But as a whole, reselling is still really strong for me. So I'm just speaking from experience. On eBay, do you ever ship with signature confirmation? If so, what's your criteria? Very good question, Richard Gooding. So when it comes to signature confirmation, if the item is something very expensive, I've sold items over $100 and didn't do signature confirmation. But if I'm selling something maybe $200, $300, $400, $500, when it gets kind of more expensive, I think signature confirmation is a little more needed, just for your own safety, just for your own peace of mind. It's an additional, I think, $2.75. It might have gone up since then, but certain more expensive items, I think it's a must, especially if the buyer asks you to go ahead and provide that. You should definitely do that too, because sometimes it could be a cheap item. It might be $20, $30, but that person might live in an area where they don't necessarily feel comfortable leaving their packages at home or just sitting by the doorstep. So sometimes buyers might ask you to do that too. So if the item is super expensive, I'll definitely provide that. And if the buyer asks, you definitely provide that as well. You can always charge them extra via PayPal for that too. Sometimes they might be a little fishy about that. Some buyers might not necessarily want to do that. But if you don't want to spend that extra $3 on a cheaper item, you can always tell them, hey, I can do it for you, but you need to pay for that. What's good, Mr. Thrifty Texas? Hello, brother. I'm looking to start my own channel. Any beginner tips? Oh, that's what's up. You could definitely start your channel. You can, if you have a good quality phone, I would say use your phone. You don't even need a camera. In the description, I think I have the exact camera that I use and the lens. It's the Sony A6000 and to Sigma 16 to I think 16 millimeter lens on there. And I think I have all of those links in my eBay description. You can literally just start your channel. Just be consistent. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a while until you actually get monetized and you can start earning money from your videos. It took me about 6 months. I started in August and I wasn't monetized until December. But if you start today and you're as consistent as possible and you just focus on putting out value, you can definitely get your channel monetized, even probably faster than me. For me, I just put out a ton of content and I tried to build up those watch hours. But the two things you're going to need to focus on is building your watch hours, and that's going to be 4,000 watch hours, and your subscribers. You're going to need at least 1,000 subscribers until you're monetized. But like I said, if your goal is just to put out value and just to help others, just put your content out. Don't even worry about views. Don't even worry about money. And the views and the money will come, but you just got to focus on the value. What made me switch predominantly to shoes? So when I was in California, we was doing a lot of thrift store shopping, and the clothes and the thrift stores out there were really cheap. And I found some of the best brands ever. I used to find crazy stuff, and that's why I was doing so many trip to the thrift videos, because I thought the stuff I was finding was amazing. Since we moved to Arizona, the thrift stores out here, just fashion as in general out here is not the same. So finding the same quality items, finding those same type of brands, virtually impossible. Like I might come across cool and maybe some dope like Nike stuff here and there, but I used to find Lululemon and Patagonia and cool every single day. Like a lot of those brand like Viberg boots that sell for hundreds of dollars. I used to find those type of items on a regular basis. So since we moved here, I just had to pivot, and I realized I was able to find just better deals. They had a lot of outlets out here, and the Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, they're just way better out here as opposed to the ones in California. So just like any other business model, I had to pivot to figure out how I'm going to consistently make sales. And this was the best move that we could have made, because I'm making way more money doing this than I was thrifting. And I feel so much better doing this because the constant going to the thrift store, it was the thrill of the hunt was there, but I felt like I spent too much time thrifting. And now that my wife is working with me, when I bring home a ton of shoes, if I bring home 100 pairs of shoes, we knock them out together in the day, and that's it. I don't even need to necessarily leave the house again because I have a ton of inventory. So did some online quarantine shopping and got some really good deals, mostly fall and winter items. Trying to decide if I should list now or hold for Q4. Your thoughts? I would list them now because it's cold somewhere. People might be going on vacation and they might need something. And some people even shop in advance. Like some people try to get deals early. That way, when the fourth quarter comes around and winter time comes, they don't have to think about it. So I would list it now, but expect the sales later on. But you just to be, better safe than sorry, I would just list it now and get it out the way. Take advantage of some of these free listings that eBay is giving us right now, and just take advantage of that. And you never know, you might sell some of the boots and some of the things now, recoup some of that money, and then fourth quarter you can really sell out. So I would just list it now. What are the best shoe sizes to pick up for resale? The best shoe sizes I would say is 8.5 to 13. Anything after that, it gets tough. 13.5, 14, 15, it gets tough. It gets slow because those are larger sizes and you're dealing with a smaller crowd. But 8.5 to I think 13 is really good. I used to say 11.5 was a tough size to move, but I've been selling so many size 11.5s at this point that I don't even think that's true. So anything between 8.5 to 13. You tell your buyers on eBay to rate you 5 stars. I know that some people include cards to remind their buyers to rate. I sold a few items, but the buyers didn't rate. Most buyers are not going to send you any feedback. Very few buyers, they might be very happy with it. They might be impressed with your shipping speed. They might be glad that it's, perfect condition if it's used. But most people don't send feedback. I think it's like 15% of buyers, or even lower than that actually leave feedback. So You might, I think using those cards is really good. It's a good reminder. You might even want to send them an email. But I think one of the best ways to get feedback is to give feedback. So wait a couple days once they receive the item and you check the date that they received it, then you might leave them feedback, and that could be a good reminder for them too. When it comes to feedback, for me, honestly, I don't care at this point anymore. It's like I have a decent amount of feedback to the point where buyers kind of trust that whatever they're buying from me is going to be getting to them on time and it's going to be as described. Once I hit 1,000 like feedback rating on eBay, I stopped caring as much. But feedback is important. So if you can kind of think of different ways to garner more feedback, it's definitely helpful. Got a lot of questions. All right. When are y'all going to start a family? Dom. They said, when we going to start a family? You about to hop on camera? When we going to start a family? We got plans. We got some big business plans first. We got to first secure a house. That's number one. Oh, she about to come out with the sunflower robe. Here she go. You, the camera right there.
Hey, we will start a family when we have more stuff set up, okay? I feel like everybody asks us that. If y'all want to start a family, send us $40 for diapers today. Do that, okay? Let's be honest. Diapers are expensive. Formula is expensive. Babies are expensive. I'm trying to get abs first, okay? I don't want a pregnant belly until I have abs in my life at least once. So that's the honest answer. Just once. So I'm working on it now. I'm almost there, so who knows? But if you really want us to have a kid, come babysit for us and send us $40, and we'll think about it. Have a good night.
Hey, let's go. First back in the day, and so I can't complain.